I'm J. Hood Jackson, and this is your Look News 411. We're leading off. Elise Stefanik beat her challenger, Matt Doheny, in a Republican primary for the 21st Congressional District. A message from Doheny's camp that Stefanik was a Washington insider did not land with voters. Doheny spoke of this issue on Look TV's original program, Beyond the Headlines.
My opponent, she's spent her time in Washington, D.C. She has worked in think tanks. She's worked in presidential campaigns. I mean, that she's a creature of D.C. She lives in D.C. And that's just what the reality is. That's the facts. And so when you get to this point in an election, you say to yourself, do you want to have jobs, and who's best positioned, who has the background and skill set to go ahead and create that type of economic opportunity and growth in the district? Is it going to be a D.C. insider or a self-made businessman?
Although Stefanik carried 11 of the 12 counties, the Doheny camp and those among the Democratic ranks are not giving her the credit. In a concession speech last night, Matt Doheny stated Karl Rove had a good night. And Kelly Ward of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee said that Elise Stefanik's victory in the Republican primary race proves just how far Karl Rove and Washington's special interests will go to add another loyal rubber stamp to their ranks. Now, despite the accusations, Stefanik had a different message when she was on Beyond the Headlines.
I think I bring a new positive approach, and I'm focusing on the issues, whereas he's engaging in personal attacks in this race. This is how he's run his campaigns previously. That's the politics of the old way. People are frustrated. I hear this from Republicans, I hear this from Democrats, independents, conservatives, that people are looking for a new way forward, and they're looking for new candidates who have fresh ideas and offer solutions. So I'm excited to be the only candidate that's focusing on the issues, on the positive vision for economic growth, talking about the differences on particular policy stances rather than the bickering.
It's widely known that Karl Rove's super PAC, American Crossroads, spent a significant sum of money opposing Doheny. The amount totaled over $750,000 for the primary. Stefanik, however, continued to speak of the positive issues race she has run. Matt Doheny, by the way, will still be on November's general election ballot. Now, Beyond the Headlines host Mike Lenz will join me tomorrow on Look News for his thoughts on the primary. And a grand jury in Saratoga County has not indicted a Victory Mills teen who stabbed his mother's boyfriend. Matthew Brown was charged with second-degree murder after he killed Derek Clark in an apartment on Gates Avenue in Saratoga County. According to DA Jim Murphy, the grand jury had enough evidence to support the finding that Brown was defending himself. Brown was charged with the crime after he stabbed Clark in the neck. Clark had allegedly assaulted Brown's mother and cornered the two of them in a room when this stabbing occurred. After the grand jury reached a decision, Brown's lawyer, Terrence Kinlan, said justice has been done. In other news, the Mouzon House in Saratoga continues to fight against a proposed parking garage at the Saratoga City Center. The Pennati family is fighting over a parking garage that would be built 75 feet from their restaurant and overshadow it so much they may be unable to continue business. The family says they're not against a parking garage, but they want a better plan. At the last Saratoga City Council meeting, members asked why the configuration couldn't be switched. City Center President Mark Baker said the topography would not allow it. Now, if the structure is built, construction would most likely be started in September, with construction completed by the summer of 2015. Mark Baker, by the way, will be a guest with Mike Lenz on this weekend's edition of Beyond the Headlines on Look TV. Check your local listings for airing. Now join me here each and every night as I recap the stories that matter to you.